Good evening, guys. Bill McMillan here with NDWX.com. Friday evening and heading into the weekend. Unfortunately, we still have a very tough and low confidence forecast for you. I want to make it very, very clear that the confidence is just simply very low still, even though we're around 24 hours out from this event. With everything going on, it's a complicated situation, and it's really going to come down to a nowcast type scenario as we get closer and closer to the event. Bust potential is incredibly high with this particular storm system, and we've got solutions out there that range anywhere from a dusting of snow for central Indiana to as much as a few to several inches of wet snow. If the European forecast model plays out, we're going to have to keep an eye out for a deformation zone of more significant snow kind of setting itself up across central Indiana late tomorrow night into early Sunday morning. It's a solution that's out there, and again, we're going to have to fine-tune things. We've got a snowfall forecast for you finally. Got to be honest, though, it's a low-confidence snowfall forecast at this time, and it's going to require some fine-tuning, needless to say, as we move forward. Current satellite shows a rather cloudy, drizzly, foggy evening across the area. We've got some moderate showers beginning to rotate through central Indiana at this hour. Those will head northeast and get out of here, and all in all, we're looking at probably a damp evening, but mostly dry in terms of significant rainfall once these showers move through. Saturday will likely dawn dry, cloudy, but showers will begin to enter the picture to our southwest. Late morning into early afternoon as an area of that low pressure begins to head our direction. Real quick, let's kind of remember back to a few days ago where we were talking about some of the forecast models that had this area of low pressure so far to the south and east, and we were talking about the bias associated namely with the GFS. That's going to be something that as we move forward and deal with more storm systems, by the way, it's an incredibly active stormy cold pattern that we're heading into now, and it's going to continue for the foreseeable future. Let's just keep that in mind. The known biases with certain forecast models is going to be very important, especially if you're looking at the different forecast models that come in. You may just want to do yourself a favor, to be completely honest, and not worry too much about the individual model, operational model runs that come out sometimes as much as 4 times a day. The solutions, as we've seen with this particular storm system, and I can guarantee you that we're going to see down the road with this pattern, tremendous transition from what was a predominantly warm, incredibly just an impressively long duration warm pattern in December, flipping in dramatic fashion to more of a sustained cold and stormy wintry type pattern heading into, as we've been saying, mid-January, and we think this thing rumbles on through February as well, maybe even into early March. Needless to say, forecast models struggle with pattern transitions such as extreme pattern transitions that we're seeing now. Add in that SOI crash, and we've got a lot going on. Forecast models are trying to grasp kind of what's taking place, but that's what's feeding into some of these wild solutions that we're seeing from run to run. At the end of the day, just remember the overall pattern is one that's going to yield plenty of winter weather potential for our particular part of the country, eventually across the east as well, of course. And it's a much colder pattern as well compared to when we were just back in December. A lot going on, and it's going to remain rather busy for quite some time. That said, we've got our challenges in front of us right now coming up as early as tomorrow evening into Sunday morning. This is the latest GFS forecast model. We'll just go ahead and put it into motion for you. And we like the overall track of this area of low pressure kind of following the Ohio River into west central Ohio and then near Cleveland Sunday morning. This kind of track is actually the track that we've been talking about where we thought the models would correct. It's kind of the specifics in handling the cold air arrival and then obviously any sort of deformation zone that we're going to see and contend with. That's really going to be tough to nail down from this juncture. As it stands right now, we'll go from a rain to snow type forecast for you overnight Saturday with snow and very gusty winds continuing Sunday morning. I'm going to try to do this without disconnecting the video. We'll pull up our latest initial snowfall forecast map here, brought to you by DustyTaylorPhotography.com, and it shows a stripe of 1 to 2 inches of snow running through the city, kind of right through the heart of Indiana. Just to the north and northwest of that band, we've got 2 to 5 inches outlined from Vermilion County up to Allen County and points north. Again, we want to be very, very clear that this is an initial forecast. Bust potential is high. We've got to continue to really monitor the latest data that comes into the forecast office overnight and in the morning. With that said, even it may still be a nowcast type situation as we go into tomorrow evening. Needless to say, this is our best guess right now, and we'll continue to monitor things as we go through the next several hours this evening. Finishing up, guys, again, going back to this pattern flip, this is, in all honesty, probably one of the biggest reversals of a wholesale pattern that I've seen in my years of doing this, which is going on close now to 13, 14 years. This is just a total flip-flop from what we saw in December. The strongly negative Arctic oscillation in place, strongly negative North Atlantic oscillation developing. It's a very cold, stormy regime, and there's going to be a lot of potential in this pattern. Whether we can turn potential into reality is going to be determined, but at least we're on the playing field for some active times moving ahead. And finally, we'll end with the latest MJO forecast, another interesting run here as we go through phases 8, 1, and then it's going to be tough here. It's going to be interesting to see if we can make it through 2 before it goes into the wheelhouse. But if we can do that, we've got a few weeks ahead of us of very cold and active times. Needless to say, guys, a lot going on. It's going to be important to either stay tuned to us or your favorite weather outlet. By the way, Indianapolis and the greater central Indiana market just blessed with incredible weather talent out there. There's too many to even name that we would recommend following, but definitely if you're on Twitter, you can check all those out. Hashtag INWX to most likely get a grasp as to the different talent that's out there for you to get at different opinions on this situation unfolding. Make it a great evening. We'll talk with you soon here on IndyWX.com.